This is Cutting Down the Nets. It's the last day of January. After that, it's February. And you know what comes after that. It is Wednesday, January 31st. We are sitting at 54% on the year, which is okay. It's fine, right? Kind of, we'll see how tonight ends up, but kind of a frustrating. I'll just recap that real quick. We had CMU as our premier play. Took 2 overtimes, but they got there. It was straight Kevin's chili at the end of regulation, but hey, we got it home. Next up, Miami. They are currently down 2 against NC State. We'll see how that shakes out. Dayton continues to get short numbers, and they continue to blow out teams despite playing at a really slow pace. Did Kane lose to the situational spot again? Always do, right? So here's the deal. KenPom, Paddy, Haslam, all had North Carolina by 13. Well-known situational spot. They've got Duke coming to Chapel Hill this weekend, so the look-ahead spot. Yeah. So if it was, 11, I wouldn't have played it. If it was 10.5, probably wouldn't have played it. But get down to 8.5, like, whoa, what are we doing? So we lost. Go ahead and look at that box score. Dare you. They shot the same amount of free throws. North Carolina left, I think, 7 points at the free throw line compared to Georgia Tech. And then UNC shot 16 more shots. So, I don't know. Make 20% of those and we cover. So, whatever. Moving on. Syracuse missed 2 shots in the final 20 seconds to cover against Boston College. Lost by half point. Tough scenes. They also gave up, I think, a 23-0 run in the middle of that game. So, yeah, kind of won by 18 if you take that away. Iowa, Indiana. Iowa was a play at the buzzer for me. Like, fine, it's at 2.5. I'll take it. Led by 2 with a minute to go. Tilting stuff. I bring that up not to complain. I don't think it's worth complaining. It's a long season. End game variance is going to happen. So that's why I play a higher volume. And just like the stuff just works itself out over time is how I look at it. So here is the board for Wednesday, January 31st. I will highlight some of the yellow games and then kind of queued up to walk through some shakiness with them. So again, if you're new here, I am sorting by the difference between the Paddy spread and the point spread. I am looking for reasons to narrow that pool down. So I started with probably 12 games, something like that. Very common. I then start to eliminate teams based on situational spot, based on shot quality, just based on, running hot from 3-point range, that sort of stuff. So this is kind of what I got left. I'm not playing the orange games because of shot quality differences. What I mean by that is Notre Dame, Paddy has Virginia as like -6 to 9. The line's 13, but shot quality is like 18. So not going to swim upstream there. So we'll focus on the yellow games here, and I'll give you some breakdowns. We'll start with St. Mary's against Santa Clara. St. Mary's turned into a little bit of a wagon if you haven't been paying attention. But how have they been doing it? Look at their 3-point shooting to begin the year. Look at their 3-point shooting in the last 5 games. Look at their 3-point defense the last 5 games apart from the LMU game. And you kind of see what happens if you're not going to hold opponents to 2 out of 13 or 2 out of 17, 3 out of 17. So on Torvik, you can kind of compare what's the last 5 to the year. So on the year, they're shooting 32%. And on the year, they're giving up 32% from 3. And I noted here in their last 5, they're making 40% of their threes. And in their last 5, they're allowing 29%. So likely some regression due, but I don't know if that line gets, near that KenPom number. Kind of interested, just given that shot quality and Paddy are in line, that this is like a 17 to 19 point advantage, even against a good Santa Clara team. So on the radar. Next up, Austin Peay and Jacksonville. Jacksonville's kind of been an auto fade for me, but I will pull something up that I think is pretty interesting about old Jayville here. So this is, you see a lot of red. Usually that's the case with bad teams. You also see some inconsistencies where, hey, sometimes they'll make half their threes and sometimes they'll make 10% of them. But I think what's interesting here for Jacksonville that I found that gives me a little pause is if you isolate their home games and then split it, you will see that they're shooting 13.3% better in home games, and opponents are shooting 11.5% worse. So overall, on the year, they're a pretty good home shooting team, 42.2%. Compare that to away neutral, and they're shooting 28.9. A lot of small sample size stuff here, a lot of noise, but is this the team that can get hot at home? So basically, more of those are happening at home. So data-wise, we have Austin Peay by 6 to 9. Shot quality is in that 4 to 5 range. So I see value there, but totally get it and haven't made my decision yet. Looking at more home road splits, we'll move to Rutgers, Penn State. So Paddy having this closer to a possession, shot quality having it less than a possession, and we're getting 7.5. The old Big Ten home tax is what I would refer to that as. And here we have Rutgers, 296th in offense, 10th in defense. Congratulations, Rutgers. Go to their home splits, and you'll see that their offense stays about the same, but their defense gets even better. So you have an elite defense that's even stronger at home, and now they get Penn State at home. I noted that Penn State, their offense has been a mess on the road as well. However, a lot of that's factored in. I mean, 7.5 points here when the KenPom number is closer to 5. There's some value there, obviously some risk. Wake Forest. So you'll notice the year-to-date shot quality number has Pittsburgh by 4, whereas recent shot quality has Wake by 8. The reason for that is since mid-December, Wake has moved from 177th in shot quality to 43rd. We can kind of figure out what happened around that time, and we'll just click on one player here, 7-foot junior Efton Reed. He missed up into the Rutgers game. So that was his first game back, and that's when the shot quality started to surge. If you were to actually break this down and be like, okay, what was their offense pre-read? What was their offense post-read? What was their defense pre-read? What was it post-read? I can tell you that answer. We're at 116.3 offense, 98.4 defense with read on and with read off, 109.9, 103.3. So this probably equates to like 9 points. Efton Reed is not worth 9 points. There's not a college basketball player on the planet worth 9 points, but he matters. And I don't think we're weighting that enough. And that's where the edge is, in my opinion. Still a tough road game, but like that side. St. John's, Xavier. What the heck was that Xavier performance against UConn? My God. So they lost 99-56, almost covering the plus 12.5 I was holding, which is tilting. You'll notice that they just got worked, and you can see it kind of everywhere. But Xavier 10-21 at the rim, UConn 17-22. UConn hit every three, but Xavier, you can kind of see the regression was coming. So a lot of green 3-point defense early in the year. They were due some regression, and sometimes it comes all at once, and they can't recover from that. So does that continue? I don't know, but either way, I like the St. John's side. Recent shot quality is up and up on the Johnnies as well. So kind of interesting there. Indiana State is the other yellow game. I don't know, man. Like, it's probably a stay away from me. I'm not even going to put them in my pool. Reason being, You've got the big Drake home game looming, so situational spot not ideal. And then when you look at the Indiana State offense split for just road games, turnovers. They cough it up a lot on the road and aren't forcing any turnovers um, on the road as well. At home, far different. So overall, you have this like middling turnover performance, but on the road, they force none and they cough it up a lot. That's kind of concerning. Plus a little look ahead spot. Yeah, look, we want auto bid Indy State. Right now, that's about a 40% chance of happening. So I have Florida, Kentucky down here. I don't know. It's pretty much a shot quality play at this point. If I could get that up to 7, that'd be great. I don't know if that happens. I don't even know if I want to step in front of Kentucky with Florida. Yeah, not sure there. Also had a note on this Chicago State Duquesne because the soft opener was like 15, and I was like, okay, I can work with that. And yeah, it's at 12.5. So that stuff happens. You just move on. So that's what I'm looking at right now. So that brings me to a pool that probably looks like this. I'm not going to have Indiana State in there. So these are the 5 games I'm kind of honed in on the most, and I'll kind of see where I end up there. So this is cutting down the nets. We're having an okay year. I would really like to be in that 56% range, but this 54% is with an 0-12 streak. I just want to remind people of that. Super tilting. So let's close January strong. I think January was somewhere in that 55.5, 56.5 range prior to tonight. So let's close out strong. We'll give a little recap to kick off February. This is Cutting Down the Nets. Thanks for stopping by.